Okay, we are on Mount Olympus. This is God of War 3 on Chaos Mode difficulty. So, we're going to be heading on up here and doing some opening a chest. And the tutorial is very obvious for that. I apologize, but some of them will be rather interesting to look at. This is the ledge climb area where this is the first time in God of War where, as you're scaling these cliff faces, you can press whichever way, left or right, you want to go, or even up, I think. But mainly when in God of War games previously, we couldn't go faster like this, so it's really nice. So we have Olympus sentries over here, and more of these Olympus archers, I should say. So a lot of these battles are optional, and the orb system works the same as in God of War 2 at the beginning of that game. At the beginning of that game, I mentioned when I did that guide early on in that video that you start out extremely strong, as do you in this game. You're very strong at the outset of this game too. But the thing about this whole situation is that once we fall into Hades, the river Styx, we're going to lose every single orb that we've collected so far. So it's really unnecessary to be overly focused on getting orbs. I am going to be getting the chests that I come across along the way, and I know that it's completely unnecessary. So anytime I'm opening chests, it's just a formality. I know that I'm not going to be allowed to keep any of the orbs that I'm getting. So that's exactly how it is in God of War 2. If you didn't know, you start out extremely strong since you're the God of War, and Zeus. But after Zeus kills you, you get all your orbs gone. So it's I don't really like that. I like falling from grace and then recovering, and then getting your stuff back. I like that concept. I just don't like how there is a lot of opportunity to get orbs originally and then they're all gone. I think that they should start you off with like a percentage of what you had to make it a little bit better for you as far as like incentives about getting orbs, because otherwise you could skip this whole battle if you wanted to. I don't skip any battles in this game. I enjoyed the combat in this game, and in God of War in general. It's just unparalleled. I find the most enjoyment in this combat, so I always take advantage of every single fight. So once we do get down into Hades, and we're going to be starting collecting orbs and stuff like that, that's when I'm never going to miss a chest, or always going to go for every single kill. So it's going to be a very thorough walkthrough, and even you notice I interacted with that pedestal over there, and I took a glance around. All those I'm going to be just looking at, because this is a beautiful game, and I want to, as also in line with making a guide. I just want to point out all the nice things that's going on with it, and the notes that are left on the ground sometimes, or occasionally I'll be reading all those. They're not that long, and they're interesting to read. So down here is another instance where I just recently found out that you can fall down here and there's a chest. But again, I knew full well that it's not going to net me anything in the long run. But I just wanted to at least show everybody that there's a chest down there. So this is going to be a very brief chapter. It's kind of sandwiched in between the two seahorse battles. So in the next area, we have a Centaur that we're fighting, so it's really interesting to see all these new revamped and repolished enemies popping in. So Ares is down there beneath the ice, so I really enjoy this. This is very interesting. So this guy, you can actually dodge this guy's attack at first. I just let him jab at me. It takes no damage from you if you it seems like you would be getting damage if he sticks you with that, but the quick time button is what saves you and what prevents you from actually taking damage. So grabbing enemies and using them as battering rams is one of the most effective, just a great thing to do when you're fighting huge enemies, and there's a bunch of these enemies that you could just use as battering rams. It's extremely helpful. And there's actually a challenge called Bare Hands. It's one of the harder challenges in the challenges of Olympus. I think that's what those challenges are called. But they actually don't let you even have a weapon, so you have to use these guys for battering rams against some really resilient statue enemies, the stone Talos monsters. But anytime you're up against a large enemy that's hard to take down, and they have these guys over here, these sentries, definitely want to grab them, and because it deals a lot of damage to the large enemies. You'd really be surprised how much damage it takes away from them. So I think this is the last guy, and then I'm going to interact with this pedestal here because it was harder than hell to beat Ares in God of War 1. So it's really nice to see this guy under ice over here, and I interacted with this pedestal here. Let's see what it says here. Here lie the remains of Ares, the fallen god of war. So that's definitely a nice place for him to be, because he took a real beating. That guy was tough to beat on God mode on God of War 1. So, man, if anyone's ever done that, I feel for you, and I respect you too. Because it certainly was not easy for me. So this contraption here, it's not on a timer. It just goes when you're on it. So it's really nice. And here's yet again another chest I'm just going to grab as a formality, and then hit the save point, because that's the first save point in the game so far. So definitely hit that up.